It's finally happening. I'm finally going to read Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. This is the first part, that's why it looks a little bit smaller. This is the first time I'm going to read any Dostoevsky's novel in Arabic, but I've got a translation by Sami Drobi. I've heard that it's the best translation out there. I'm intimidated by this book. I'll probably see this video until like a month or two, maybe even 3 months from now. Today is the 28th of December in 2024, so I'm going to start this book tonight. I'm going to take my time with it. I'm not trying to read it very fast or anything. I'm not going to give myself a goal or a page goal every single day, and hopefully I don't actually dislike it, because I'm very worried that I'm not going to be able to finish it, and especially because I don't usually read classics in Arabic. The only time I've read a classic in Arabic is The Master and the Margarita, and I did not like that one. So I'm just going to stop talking and start it tonight. I was just filming my December wrap-up, and since I already have the lights and everything set up, I thought I should update you on the book. I finished this two first chapters. No, that last time I updated you, I was worried about the language, and I feel like the language is completely fine. I'm not finding any issue with the language. The video is going to be spoiler filled, because I cannot talk about a book for that long without mentioning any spoiler. So what I do like about this book is that, I'm not sure if it's in the other editions as well, but in my edition, like every single thing that happened, every single word, single thing that mentioned, there's a there's an explanation on what that is. And I found it really interesting that Raskolnikov, which is the main character's name, is derived from the word Raskolnik, which means split in Russian. When Dostoevsky published this book the first time, he wasn't called Raskolnikov. The title was called The Diary of Raskolnikov or something like that. Then that's why he decided to change his name. And I made a list of the characters. I'm not sure you can see, because so far I'm only 2 chapters in, and we're introduced to so many characters already. The names are quite confusing, and I did not write all of the names because I don't know which ones are going to be important later on. So far, for the characters who I like, I really like the Marmeladov's daughter, who's called Sonia. She's basically a sex worker, and that's the only character that I actually really enjoy right now. Although we haven't met her right now, we just heard her dad just talked about her. I want to know, when was Crime and Punishment published, because I know that Fyodor Dostoevsky was also a gambler, and one character in here, I'm not sure who it is, maybe it's Katerina Ivanovna's first husband. I think he was a gambler, and basically Dostoevsky said that he ruined his life with gambling or something like that. And I know that Dostoevsky was also gambling, so I'm not sure if it's the same time that he was gambling and he knew that he's ruining his life. I'm not sure if he was criticizing himself, or if he wrote that and then afterwards he became a gambler. I know this makes nothing, really doesn't add anything to the book. I'm just curious, like, was he criticizing himself, or did he wrote it and then afterwards he became a gambler? I know this is a completely pointless question, I just want to know. And date, I reached page 127, but when I was reading it, like last night, Raskolnikov felt so much like Luigi Mangione, or the CEO killer. I was reading that, and then I went onto Instagram and I found a post that says, "R.I.P. Raskolnikov, you would have loved Luigi Mangione." I was the only one who made this comparison, but it just feels like a lot like him, because he was eavesdropping on this conversation, because he's eavesdropping a lot in this book. And the explanation that this guy was making was that if we kill this woman, then we will improve the life of so many other people. There was the dream sequence. If you have read this book, you know what dream sequence I'm talking about. I have never read anything that made me so uncomfortable in my whole entire life. And I was getting so mad at that dream sequence. I was just waiting for that dream sequence to end so that I could move on with the story. and I'm already, like, as I said, almost in part 2. Today is the 31st of December, so this is the last day of the year, and I'm already flying through this book. Like, I haven't read anything today, but I'm definitely going to read so much more tonight. I'm going through this faster than I thought, like, so I'm really enjoying this book so far, and I can't wait to see where it goes. As for the notes that I was taking on characters, I stopped doing that because I feel like so far with every character that is introduced, I don't feel like there are too many characters, and some characters just aren't mentioned then. I thought, like, I took notes about Marmalov or whatever his name, and his daughter and his wife, but I don't think he's going to come back in the story later on. And there are so many characters that I just mentioned here and there, but they're not really an important part of the story. And also, like, there's this whenever some, like, name that is sort of modified. For example, what's her name? Donia, and they called, sometimes she's called Donichka, and whenever Donichka is mentioned, like, you have this asterisk, and they say that Donichka is Donia, and they mention all of their names. And I found that very easy to get through. Like, I'm not finding any problems with the characters' names so far, so I'm just going to read it normally. And yeah. I've reached page 255 in the first part, which is a little bit over halfway through. I'm almost done with the second part. The crime that which we're talking about has already happened. It was a surprise to me to know that there are 2 crimes rather than 1. I expected the old woman to be killed, but I did not expect her sister to be killed as well. In the part where I'm in, it's just our main character, Raskolnikov. He's sick, he has fever, and people are going into his home and trying to help him and stuff like that, and he is making himself seem very suspicious because the only time he reacts to anything is when they talk about the crime that happened, and some people are starting to get really suspicious. And I talked previously, I think, about his sister's fiance. I said that Raskolnikov was super mad because of what he did. Now I think I'm actually on Raskolnikov's side because that character, I forgot his name, is Piotr Zholozhin or something. I really do not like his character. He just seems so full of himself, and every time he talks, he things that mean absolutely nothing just to show that he is intelligent and he has these new thoughts and he's modern in his ideas. I wish I could just sit down and read this in its entirety. Whenever I'm doing something, like I have work or something to do, I always put this one next to me so that when I finish whatever I'm doing, this will be my reward. And so far, today is, what day is it today? It's Friday, which is not even, tomorrow is a week since I started this vlog, and I'm already, like, I'm made significant progress. I'm not sure if Raskolnikov is going to get caught as he's the one who killed the old woman and her sister, or if the punishment in this case will just be him like suffering because of his own ideas. I don't know where the story is going to go, but I'm excited to see where it's going. I've reached part 3, and I'm just about to start part 3 right now, and I feel like I completely forgot about the character Marmadilov, who was the drunk character that we got introduced to in the very beginning. Now we got introduced back to him, and now he is dead or dying, and I think there will be some more relevance to this story, because I feel like it would be kind of pointless to introduce this character in the beginning and then not talk about him at all, and then when we introduce him back in the end of the part 2, then we just kill him and that's it. I think our main character Raskolnikov will have something to do with Sonia, his Marmadilov's daughter, or maybe he will have something to do with his family. I'm thinking it's Sonia, like his eldest daughter. That's my theory right now. I don't know how it's gonna go. Like, I'm confused about where this story is going to go, to be honest. I'm actually enjoying the ride, but I'm confused on where it's going to go, because at first Raskolnikov was worried that someone will figure out that he is the one who committed the crime, and now he's sort of like playing with people, like saying, you would think I did it, and basically making them say that no, you're not the one, basically introducing this doubt in their mind. And I'm not sure what's the point, like what is Raskolnikov trying to create out of that? Is he just enjoying playing with people, or what is he trying to do? Or maybe trying to push the allegations away from him by acting like he is actually the killer. So I think that is why he's like treating people like that, like confusing them and all. And also I really think that Sonia is going to play a bigger role in this story, rather than, because so far he's only spoken about briefly Marmaldilov, or whatever his name is called. Spoke about her briefly in the beginning, like the first chapter I think, and now we got introduced back to her, and she didn't say anything, didn't do anything. She was just standing there when she walked in, and then she hugged her father as he is dying, and that was her entire role. But I really think that she's going to have more of an important role in this story, and I don't know how, but I'm excited to find out. The character that we got introduced to is Svidrigailov, and if you don't know who Svidrigailov is, he is the previous employer to Donia, who is the sister of Raskolnikov. And they first mentioned that character, I thought he just mentioned he doesn't have any importance, but apparently he's going to have so much importance in the story because he was mentioned right now, and he is apparently the only person who knows that Raskolnikov is the one who committed the crime. So let's continue reading and see where the story is going to go. I know the lighting is super bad, but I can't really move. I finished the first part of the book. This is the second part that I'm picking up. I finished it. Today is Sunday, by the way. It's the 6th, I think. What day is 5th of January? It's Sunday. It's been exactly a week since I started this vlog, and I've already finished the first part. I have 420 pages left in this one, and I don't know when I last update you, but I think I said that Sonia, who is the daughter of Marmalidov, or the guy who died, the drunk guy who died, I think she's going to have a much bigger role in the story, and I think she's already starting to have this role. Like we didn't just leave her in there and we didn't see her again. She came to Raskolnikov's house, and something is going to happen with her. I just know that, and I'm kind of even more sure about that. And we also had some scenes with this guy who he didn't have a name for him before, and I thought, because at one point I just didn't know if Raskolnikov was actually crazy or if he's doing it on purpose to kind of mess up with people around him. But now I think, after finishing like this third part of the book, I think he was doing it on purpose, because in the first night when he was sick and he was hallucinating, he was actually kind of incriminating himself. He was actually acting naturally, and he was incriminating himself. And then when he knew that he is like attracting doubts about people on him and stuff like that, he started messing with them on purpose. Now at least that's what I think he's doing. And especially because when that random guy just showed up to his house and called him a killer, and then things started becoming weird, I thought he was hallucinating again, like he's back to being sick. But now we have a name for that guy, so I don't think he is hallucinating. I was just getting ready for bed, and I remember that I didn't update you. I'm on page 28 in the second part. I'm this far into it, not that much into it, and I realized that I made a mistake. I said that what's his name? Svidrigailov is the guy who knows that Raskolnikov committed the crime, but I was wrong about that. I do think that Svidrigailov, I do think he's going to know about the murder. He doesn't right now. He doesn't know anything about it, but I do think he's going to know about it at a later point in the story. Although in the beginning I said there aren't that many characters, I stopped because I thought that some characters were just mentioned here and there. But now I think that Dostoevsky doesn't mention anyone for no reason. Every single character here has a purpose or reason. I didn't think this will be such a page turner. It feels like it's been such a long time since I've last updated you. I don't know when I did, but today is the 7th of January, and I'm on page 60, which is the beginning of the chapter 4 in the fourth part. I don't really have that much to say other than I'm just really enjoying this book. I'm still enjoying it. I'm not referring to this second part, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm kind of understanding more of where the story might be going, because I feel like in the beginning I was a little bit unsure whether Raskolnikov was being genuine or he was like pretending, trying to confuse people. And now I think he's not really making an act. That's just who he is, and that's the part of that I mentioned in the very beginning, that Raskolnikov came from the word Raskolnik, which is split. So Raskolnikov has some sort of like split personality or something, because at one point he's like normal and then he's not normal. So I feel like that explains things a little bit more, even though it was obvious from the name. I also want to say something about Lujin, who I just finished the chapter where Donichka breaks up with him. He just got on my nerves so much. Like, this is a character that I really do not like, even though Raskolnikov is actually a killer or a criminal. I do prefer Raskolnikov and I do like Raskolnikov, but this Lujin guy, I really do not like him. I just can't stand him at all. I really liked how Donichka and her mother handled him. Like, they didn't let him walk all over them, and they just put him in his place very quickly, and I really liked that. And I did like after she broke up with him, he was kind of shocked, because he didn't think that it would go that way, because they needed him to rely on him. So when he felt like he's not needed, he felt kind of shocked. And yeah, I'm just enjoying that. Also, I really like how, what's his name, Razumikhin is like going above and beyond for Donichka and her mother, because obviously we know that he likes her, but I just like how he's just being there for them. And I think he is right now one of my favorite characters in here, because he's like the only character I think who is actually good-hearted. I'm enjoying it, so that's my update. I'm enjoying it, but I don't like Lujin and I like Razumikhin. Took an unexpected turn. I kind of spoiled myself, but before I talk about that, let me tell you what page I'm on. I'm on page 119 in the second part. I have only one chapter left until I'm in start part 5. And what I wanted to say is that I don't remember what I told you something, but like, I thought that Svidrigailov knew about the crime, and I thought that he is the guy that if you don't want to be spoiled, even though this entire vlog has been filled with spoilers, but if you don't want to be spoiled about something that is potentially important in the story, skip this section. So I need to talk about this. I know that I told you the other time that I thought that Svidrigailov is the guy that Raskolnikov hallucinated and thought that he knew, and I thought that that Svidrigailov is the one who knows that he did the crime, but it turned out it isn't. But then the chapter previous to this one, we know that Svidrigailov knows, because he rented the apartment that is next to Sonia's apartment, and he kind of told Sonia, but he did not like explicitly, but he kind of hinted at it. And Svidrigailov was eavesdropping from the other side, so now he knows. And also, like, I'm so confused about what's his name, the police officer, Porfiry Petrovich. I'm confused about Porfiry Petrovich, because basically Raskolnikov went to the police station. I thought that he wanted to confess to his crimes, because he basically told his mom and sister, he told them goodbye, and he told Sonia goodbye as well. Raskolnikov didn't actually go to confess his crimes. He went for other reason, and now he's acting so weird. Like, I don't know if he is doing that to confuse our main character Raskolnikov, or if he actually doesn't believe that he is the killer, because he's saying hints that he knows that Raskolnikov is the killer, but at the same time, when Raskolnikov got angry and told him, like, stop playing with me, stop messing up with me, just arrest me if you wanted to, like, arrest me right now, he started saying that he doesn't believe that he is the killer. So Raskolnikov is confused, I'm confused, we left on a cliffhanger. Does he actually believe that Raskolnikov is innocent, or is he playing with him so that he can incriminate himself, even though he actually already did that? He already incriminated himself. Like, I don't know what more he's waiting for. Like, he was basically ready to confess to his crimes. So I reached page 202, and I just finished the funeral. I didn't think a funeral would have this much content in it, this much things happening in it. But I thought, the chapter before that, I thought Pyotr Petrovich, who is Lujin, is kind of not as bad after what he did to Sonia. I did not think that he was thinking of something else. I just thought he was being a good person. But not after what he did. I really dislike this character, and I like how Raskolnikov and the other guy, what's his name, Zamyasov or something like that, I forgot his name. I liked how they got out of their own way to defend Sonia. Raskolnikov didn't really have that much of a role in what's happening. He was just observing things while I'm talking about the fifth part, which I'm in right now. We've started it mostly with Pyotr Petrovich. He has been like the main character in these three chapters basically. So now I think we're going to go back to see things from Raskolnikov's perspective, who I miss. I kind of miss his perspective. And I always update you in sitting in this exact same spot at the exact same time at night as always. But I just finished chapter 1 in part 6. I'm about to start chapter 2. Like, I'm on page 270 right now, but I just read the part where Raskolnikov is actually thinking about killing Porvery and Svidrigailov. I know that Svidrigailov and Porvery are very annoying characters, especially Svidrigailov, but I did not expect that we are going to have another crime, because we already had another crime. Like, all of this that is happening is because of the crime of Elizaveta and the old woman. So I'm just confused about how he's thinking about killing another person, or maybe because he already killed someone else, he feels like he can do it easily again. And I think he's going to start with Porvery, because Porvery just got into his room and he was already thinking about murdering him, and then he found him like coming to his way. So I think he's going to kill him. I don't really understand why he's going to kill him. Like, he's an annoying character, I understand that, but he's confusing. Like, I don't know if he actually remembers that, he actually believes that Nikolai is the one who killed the old woman, because Nikolai admitted that he killed her. He's the guy who was working in the apartment at the time of the murder. He admitted it, and I think he doesn't believe it, because I think Nikolai Porvery was convinced that Raskolnikov did it, and I don't think he's fooled by Nikolai's admission. What's the word I'm looking for? Nikolai's the thing that he said. Like, I don't think he is 100% convinced with that, and I think he still believes that Raskolnikov did it. That's why he's visiting him, and I think Raskolnikov will end up killing him and Svidrigailov, because they are the only people who actually know that he did it, apart from Sonia, who he told himself. So that's my prediction so far. That's how I think it's going to go. I'm not sure if it's actually going to go like that, but I'm on page 324, and Svidrigailov is really pissing me off. I just learned that he's a pedophile. On top of all of the worst things he is, he's now a pedophile as well. So I'm not saying, I don't know how many crimes there are going to be in this book. Right now, so far there are 2. I'm not sure if Raskolnikov is planning to do something else, but if he is, then I'm suggesting Svidrigailov, because he's really pissing me off. I don't know like, what's the point of this? I just hope something happens to him, because I really dislike his character a lot, so much. He's pissing me off so much. That's all I wanted to say, and I'm. Excuse the noise, there are some people talking very loudly outside right now, and I wanted to update you because I'm almost done. I have this much left. I finished part 6, maybe part 7, I'm not sure what part that was, but it's the last part in the book. And when Raskolnikov and Svidrigailov, I just realized his name is Svidrigailov, not Svidrigailov, and I was saying it wrong this entire time. When they were talking about traveling, I thought that they meant actual traveling. I was thinking like where they want to travel. Like Svidrigailov was saying that he wants to travel to the US, and I believed him, and that's what I thought is going to happen. But now I know that what that actually meant. Like everyone actually meant when they talk about traveling, they mean like when he told him you either travel or you go to Siberia. Either go to jail or run away. That's what they mean by travel. But they mean something else. They mean commit suicide. And I was completely shocked when Svidrigailov did it, and I still don't understand why he did it at this point. I'm not sure if it's going to be explained. I don't think so, honestly, because he's dead and like no one is there left to talk to him or anything, and he didn't speak to anyone before, didn't tell anyone before. And I'm in the part where Raskolnikov just confessed his crime. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the last part, but I'm kind of scared to figure it out. And I'm going to start reading again, keep reading, I mean. It's already past midnight, but I'm going to stay up late to finish this because I just can't put this down and like go to sleep. I need to know what happens next. I finished it. It's 1 a.m. and I just finished it right now. And I don't know, I'm so happy I finally read this book. I don't have words right now for my thoughts. I nearly cried in the end, but I didn't. I almost did, but I didn't. I'm not going to talk to you about this book right now. All I have to say is that I love this book so much, but I'm going to talk to you when I have my thoughts, when I let my thoughts marinate a little bit more, so that I can know what to say, because right now I'm just overwhelmed and I don't know what to say, and I love this book so much, and I don't know if I can read anything else that will be in this level. That's all I have to say. I will see you tomorrow when I look better and I'm less tired and my thoughts are a bit more organized, because right now I can't think about anything else, and I'm just I don't know what I am. I'm just happy that I read this book, and I wish I could just start it all over again. It's been a few days later and I'm finally filming this clip. As I said in the last time, this is my favorite Dostoevsky's work. Like, this is the number one of like all of his works for me. Like, for now it's Crime and Punishment, followed by Notes from the Underground, then it's White Nights, then it's The Idiot. I love it so much, and I loved how he handled so many topics at once, and there was not even one dull moment. Even though this book is huge, there was never a dull moment. I didn't feel like this book is dragging or like being stretched, or like there's anything that isn't needed in there. Everything that was in there had a purpose. Every character that was in there had a purpose. And whenever I used to see this book, I still see it in this book on social media, when people are like, especially those TikTok videos or like those Instagram videos where people say like these are the books that will destroy you, or books that mean depression or something like that, and they always mention Crime and Punishment. But I actually disagree with that thought. I think this book is actually quite hopeful. Dostoevsky was trying to like critique nihilism, the nihilism movement, and I think he used that specifically with the character of Svidrigailov. I think Svidrigailov was like the definition of a nihilist person. He didn't care about anyone or anything, but the only person he cared about is Donia. That's why when she rejected him in the end, he committed suicide, because he feels like that's the only thing that he cared about and he couldn't get it. And I was a bit, when I first read that section of him committing suicide, I didn't know why that happened. This is my theory, by the way. This is not like the actual reason. I know that Dostoevsky has left it kind of open to people's interpretation. This is my interpretation. I think this one makes the most sense. Like, he was not a good person and he didn't really care about so many things. Like, he just cared about himself. He didn't have any values or anything. But even him, whenever he fell in love and he had something that he cared about, like in this case Donia, she rejected him, and he kind of feels like he has no purpose in life, so that's why immediately he went and killed himself. For me, that is the only that's an explanation for why he did it, because we weren't given any explanation in there. It's in this video before I started filming, and I noticed I was struggling with the names so much, even though I'm learning Russian, so I thought that the names wouldn't be a problem for me, but I was actually struggling so much with the names. I was calling it Svidrijailov, I was messing it up so much, but like it's fine, it doesn't matter really. Most of us are messing up the names anyway. I also liked Raskolnikov's character because although he committed the crime not because he wanted the money or he thinks he's wrong, he's good, like a good person or anything, but just because he felt like he's kind of a Napoleonic character, and that's what he kind of kept convincing himself with, even though he doesn't actually believe that. And we know that in the end, when Sonia and Donia and Raskolnikov were all like around him, even though he's in jail, and I think that's when he finally realized that he can have a new chapter in his life. And just, I don't know, it just felt kind of so hopeful in the end, and I just loved Sonia's character. I knew that she was going to be important from the very beginning, even though I kind of had this hesitation in the middle, but ever since she showed up, I knew she would have an important role in the story, and I loved her role. And like all my favorite characters in the end ended up in like having a better life. Sonia and Donia and what's his name? Razumekhin. After I finish this book, I feel like no book will ever compare to be in this level. And yeah, this is the best book I've ever, in only the beginning of 2025, but I think this will be my best book of 2025 so far. I know that this video is very long, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Goodbye.